This video is to go over our basic benefits that we're offering our employees at D.R. Allen. When you were hired, you should be given a handbook that looks like this. If you open your handbook, you'll notice the first thing that it says is that we are the D.R. Allen and Son companies. D.R. Allen owns currently 15 concrete ready-mix plants that operates under the name of Concrete Service. We also have 2 block plants here on site in Fayetteville that manufacture center blocks along with other material for building homes, landscapes, and yards. We also have 2 cement terminals, one here in Fayetteville and also one in Wilmington, where we partnership with Argos and we import cement and we load it out to our customers. All of our facilities are 100% debt-free, which means job security both for you and I. On your pay stub that you will get through Paycom, you'll notice that your pay stub says that you work for D.R. Allen and Son companies. Do yourself a favor. If you go to apply for credit, a loan, Medicaid, or anything like that, make sure you put down that your job employer is D.R. Allen, regardless if you work for Concrete Service, Fay Block, or D.R. Allen. This will ensure that your pay stub matches your employment and help whatever you're trying to get done process quickly and faster. Please note, in order for us to give any information out about your pay or your work history, because of the privacy and HIPAA regulations, you're required to have a signed release faxed over to us. We cannot give any information to anyone without your consent. The next thing is, in the state of North Carolina, it is a right to work state. All employees that are hired in North Carolina, whether they realize it or not, are basically on a 90-day trial period. We don't consider hiring temporary work. All of our employment is hired for full-time, year-round, non-seasonal. However, we have 90 days to try each other out. If there's a problem with your work performance, maybe you're a little slow picking up a particular skill or task, don't worry. We'll call you in. We're happy to get another trainer to work with you and see maybe if we can fix that problem. However, if you have poor attendance, poor attitude, or you're not working safe, we do have 90 days to terminate without you being able to draw unemployment. At 90 days, when you become permanent, because that's why we hired you, at that time we celebrate all hourly employees by upping their pay by 50 cents. You will see that adjustment made on Paycom to let you know that you're in permanent status. If you have elected to participate in medical, dental, life insurance, or vision insurance, at that 90-day mark, that will be when those policies become effective. Visitors. Due to our strict insurance requirements, we're not allowed to have anybody ride along with anyone in a truck unless they're a company employee. In addition to that, we don't want anyone walking through areas of the plant or yard where they can potentially get hurt. So if you were to forget your lunch or need to talk to your loved one for a second or something like that, we request that you go out to the parking lot versus them coming to you and taking a chance of them getting in an area they shouldn't be in. Videos. Please note that on our sites we have video recording surveillance at all areas on the outside of the yard to include inside the office, with the exception of course of the restroom. We do this so that we can see what's going on as far as what needs the plants may have for sand or stone, and also a careful way to spot check to make sure people are following the requirements when it comes to PPE and things along that line. Please note there are no cameras in the restroom, but we do have cameras outside the restroom. So if you go into the restroom facilities, make sure you leave it clean. If you flush it, it goes down, things like that. Because if we find the bathroom not sanitized, we're going to go back to the videos to find out who the last person was to go in there. Also, we do this to make sure people don't go in there and take naps. So if you have to be in the restroom for more than 15-20 minutes, you're probably sick and need to go home, talk to your supervisor, but we don't want you hiding out the bathroom to hide out from working. In addition to that, all of our phone lines coming in to the main office and at the plants are recorded for quality assurance. We don't have any problems with anyone using our phone to make a call. We just want to caution you that it is being recorded, and the unlikely event we have to go back through the tapes, we may potentially overhear the conversation that you made. So if you have a call that needs to be top secret or can embarrass you if someone overhears, and you don't have a cell phone, ask one of your plant managers who are there so we can assure that that will be remain private. Lastly, you're going to be entered into our time clock system. The time clock system for drivers is not utilized as much because this time clock is just going to be if there's a safety meeting or you're not working that day, maybe you're doing maintenance, because once you're trained, you're clocking in and out of your truck. But for all other employees, make sure you clock in and clock out. And yes, you do have to clock in and out when you're taking your lunch break. Each department does lunches different, and your mentor will tell you how that applies to you. We do have the 5-minute rule. The 5-minute rule is if you're told to be to work at 7 o'clock in the morning, that means you cannot clock in any earlier than 5 minutes before your scheduled time, so you would not be able to clock in before 6:55. And that also means that you have to be at work in your station no later than 5 minutes after the scheduled time. So if you were supposed to be here at 7 and you didn't get here to 7:08, you are tardy, and the tardy policy is followed as in the outline that you were given in your handbook. So make sure if you're running late and you're going to miss that 5 minute before or 5 minute after, you communicate that with your supervisor. It is imperative with the type of products that we deliver that we're on time so we can assure high quality in our customer service department. Next, your number work schedule will vary based upon which type of fleet you are, but everyone is hired as requirement of working Monday through Friday, in addition working Saturdays if needed. So you know now that if you got a wedding to go to in 2 months and it falls on a Saturday, you want to go ahead and put the request to be off that day, so that in the likely event your dispatcher tells you that Friday he needs you to work that Saturday, you can't say I have a wedding because you should have put it on the calendar to be safe. Of course, nothing in life is black and white, so we always try to accommodate emergencies, but for things planned, please make sure that you communicate that with us. Anything over 40 hours per week is considered time and a half. After your 40-hour week is for that period. However, we pay every 2 weeks. Your first paycheck date will be given to you when you come in for orientation, but please note, paychecks go in on Friday every other week by 8 a.m. Don't play beat the bank because they don't go in Thursday night, they go in Friday morning. On Paycom, you'll be able to pull up your pay stub, and you should already have watched the video on how to do that, so you can see what your hours are and what's going into your account. Also, you can go through Paycom and you can view your hours as you're working to see where you are and what your anticipated pay is going to be. The next thing I want to talk to you about is funeral pay. Please note that funeral pay is listed under absences in your handbook. Absences for funeral pay, meaning that we will only pay up to 2 days for mother, brother, sister, child, or spouse. Unfortunately, because of the diverse world we live in, we have to define what we recognize for immediate family so that we're fair and we're consistent throughout the company. If someone that you love, such as a fiance or an in-law, passes, the company recognizes that you need to be off with your family, and that will be considered an excused absence. However, you will not be paid for that time unless it meets the guidelines listed for paid funeral pay. Any questions you have on that, please contact HR and we can tell it how it relates to you. The next thing is discussing about vacation. We all love them, but we have to earn them. Our company requires you to be here for 1 year from your anniversary date. Your anniversary day is the first day you reported to work. You will see in your Paycom portal how many accrued hours you've earned, and after you're here for 1 year, those hours will be available for you to take. You can, however, till you have earned vacation, put in your request to be off without pay. Whether you're selecting paid vacation or off without pay, make sure you put your request in through Paycom. If you have an emergency and it's within 24 hours that you're not going to be able to come in, please contact your supervisor to let him or her know that you're unable to come in. Then follow up through Paycom so we can make sure we pay you accordingly if you're expecting to be paid for vacation. Again, no vacation time is available till you've hit your 1 year mark. In Paycom, you have 2 drop-down fields. One is vacation with pay and one is vacation without pay. Be sure to select the right one that fits your situation so that your time is straight in the system and we can pay you correctly. Holidays. Our company recognizes several holidays throughout the years, and they're on the calendar inside your Paycom as well as printed in the handbook that you're provided. Please note, in order to be paid for holiday pay, You're required to work your scheduled day before and your scheduled day after the holiday, unless prior excuse. For an example, our company recognizes Thanksgiving Day every year as a holiday. However, we are open for business on Wednesday and Friday. I, however, like to go out with the crazy people and shop for Black Friday, so I put my request in to be off every year on Black Friday. I've been approved not to have to work, so that means my new schedule is Wednesday and Monday. If I did not get prior approval and I called out on Friday, I would not be paid for the holiday unless it was a true emergency, such as a hospitalization and something along that lines. But just for laying out sick, especially a Monday holiday, because everybody's sick on Tuesday after a Monday holiday, but it's usually for a hangover, and we will not allow that to be an excuse for calling out. So make sure that you accommodate, you recognize your holidays responsibly so you can come to work the next day if that applies. Any questions on holiday pay, please let us know. The next thing is jury duty. We recognize jury duty here as your civic duty to serve our community. Because of that, if your name comes up, you have a phone number that you're required to call the night before to see if you're to report for jury duty. If you call and you must report, by all means do so. But if you call and they no longer need you, be sure to call your supervisor and they will let you know what time to report to work the next day. If you're chosen to report for jury duty, most counties pay anywhere from $12 to $18 a day for you to serve on jury duty. If you stay for more than 2 hours, you will be paid with a check, usually within 3 business days, for your service. If you sign the check that you receive over to the company, we'll exchange each day that the jury duty paid you for 8 hours of full pay. In the event that you were excused and you were not compensated, we would not pay you, so that check is how we reimburse you. We have a maternity leave here both for males and for females. For the males' paternity leave, you have to be here for 2 years, and you can earn potentially up to 3 days off with pay to bond with the new baby. The females, however, can take up to 4 weeks with pay after they're here for 2 years to take care of the newborn. Please note that all male and females can take FMLA, which is unpaid leave, but you have to submit the proper paperwork. Please see HR if that applies for you for more details. When it comes to medical leave of absence, better known as short-term disability, our company gives this to you as a free benefit. What our short-term disability basically means is that you have to be out of work for at least 7 days, and you have to be out of work for a non-job related accident or automobile accident, and it has to be for something such as hospitalization or surgery, and then we will pay you up to 6 weeks of pay based upon your length of employment while your doctor is recommending that you heal. Again, these are things you need to talk to HR to see how it affects you and how it applies. D.R. Allen & Son is not going to tolerate any form of harassment. We care about our employees, and we have a zero policy when it comes to bullying. We want to make sure everyone is treated the same regardless of your race, nationality, your religion, or your sexual orientation. We follow the golden rule here: treat others the way you want to be treated, and most importantly, show each other respect. If you think that you have a situation that makes you feel uncomfortable, please always talk to the person that situation may arise with. 9 times out of 10, it's simply a communication error. If resolution cannot be done, or if you're uncomfortable talking to that person for some reason, please know that HR is always here to take your complaint and handling it either formally or informally. We are proud to say we've never had a problem with harassment, but with today's society, we want to make sure we do everything as a team to ensure that we're treating everyone with respect. Drivers, if you're a CDL driver for the company, you're required to make sure before you leave that you still have a current valid medical card, driver's license, and that all the documents required for trucking, such as registration and insurance cards and etc., are with you and in the truck. Your mentor will explain more about this as you're in training. Our company does not have a union. Simply put, we don't feel like we need one. We know how to treat our employees, and we make sure we give them the benefits, and we treat them like family. So we do not have a union, nor do we look at having one anytime soon. Alcohol and drugs. All positions in our company, especially DOT, require alcohol and drug testing. Even if you're not a DOT driver, Your name will go on a random pool as a non-DOT because we try to make sure we keep our employees drug-free. We only perform alcohol tests on non-DOT drivers in the unlikely event you were to come into work and appear to be under the influence. If we do that, we'll explain to you our reasons why and to make sure that you're not under the influence and not doing a job that's not safe for you to do. Physicals. All physicals for work are done by our approved company doctor. If you're doing a DOT physical, a fit for duty physical, we have a clinic that we use and we do pay for those testings when it's time for you to go. Let's say hypothetically you have a personal medical issue and your doctor gives you a note to come back to work. We evaluate you and feel like you're not quite up to par and disagree with your note. We do have the right to send you over to our clinic, which we would pay for, to do an evaluation to make sure that we agree with the orders. We care about you and your safety, and that's always our priority. Lastly, we've already discussed with you safety, 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 and you're going to hear that many, many, many times. The handbook just simply reminds you once again that you're required to wear your PPE and follow the safety rules, such as wearing your seatbelt when you're operating a vehicle. We want to make sure that you know that we care about you and want you to come into work the same way you came in, fingers and toes, with just more money in your pocket. In the unlikely event we have any problems with your attendance and with your safety or any other issues, the disciplinary procedures that we follow in the handbook are outlined so that we're fair and consistent and we treat everyone the same way. If you have any questions on that, and hopefully it will never arise, don't hesitate to contact HR. Thank you and welcome to our team.